I'm honored to call the regular meeting of the City Council of March 15th, 2016 to order. Madam Clerk, if we could have roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Fish,
Here.
Councilmember Mann,
Here.
Councilmember Sternquist,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Yu,
Here.
Mayor Chavez.
Here. Okay, and as we always do, we will begin with our invocation, and if you will all remain standing after the invocation, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance. As a matter of introduction, of course, no stranger to our council chambers. Pastor Jim Walden is back again. Thank you. I think, now, did you, refresh my recollection, did you do the invocation when I was sworn in as mayor? I thought you did. I swear I don't know. You know, I don't know. I don't remember either. But we'll just say you did. So it's a fitting that you're here tonight. So thank you for coming. Of course, Reverend Jim Walden is from the First Baptist Church of Temple City, right here on Baldwin Avenue, 1619 Baldwin Avenue. And of course, he's now been the pastor there for 4 years. How time flies, huh? Wow, that's fantastic. Says here that First Baptist is a growing, vibrant, multi-ethnic, and multi-generational congregation. Is that true? All right, very good. That's awesome. I think we said this before, but you also host two other congregations, the Rock Mountain Baptist Church, which is a Mandarin-speaking congregation, and the First Kachin Baptist Church, which is a Burmese congregation. So that's fantastic. Upcoming events include a special Palm Sunday, March 20th, with a brunch at 9 o'clock. We're all invited, right?
Absolutely.
All right. In the gym, and then there's going to have a service at 10:45, which will be a musical production with full choir and orchestra. So that's awesome. Two services on Easter Sunday, 8:15 and 10:45, with Sunday school for all ages on that same date. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't give out your website, right? www.templecitybaptist.org. So if you want any more information, you can go to that. So thank you again for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you. Before Pastor Jim starts, we'll introduce Troop 161, who will lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance. Troop 161 is sponsored by the Temple City Methodist Church, okay, which is located at 5957 Golden West Avenue, just north of the Temple City Public Library, right behind us here. Their meetings are on Thursday evenings from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Providing the flag salute this evening is Zachary Chow, Senior Patrol Leader Darren Chow, Dylan Chow, Neil Chow, and Duncan Vergara. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming. Special upcoming events. They've got a camping trip at El Dorado Park this weekend. This is their event to get them ready for called a pre-camporee, all right, to get them practice skills and things that they're going to need for the camporee competition, which will include first aid, citizenship, knots and lashings, fire building, cooking, camping skills, and all those great things that you need to do to be a fantastic scout. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming this evening, and we look forward to your presentation. So with that, if we could have everyone please stand for invocation, and again, remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, you are so good. Thank you for tonight. And once again, I want to thank you for this city that matters so much to you. Thank you for our mayor and the city council members and all the staff here, and especially our Mayor Pro Tem, who will become our mayor this evening. Lord, we continue to ask for your protection over this country and your wisdom for these folks as we carry out life together. You are so good. Thank you for being here with us. In Jesus' name we say, amen.
Amen.
Honor guard, attention. Honor guard, front and center. Forward march. Halt. Please post the flag of the United States of America. Please post the California state flag. All those in uniform, please salute. All those in non-uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Honor guard, uniform. Honor guard, retreat. Halt. Honor guard dismissed. Audience, you may be seated.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Okay, so we will now move to item number 5, and that's, I guess basically you say our purpose of our meeting this evening is our ceremonial and presentations. Before we get to the reorganization, it says here that remarks by outgoing mayor, so I guess that refers to me. Is that's my spot, I guess, so. You know, last meeting I had made a few comments, and just to kind of keep it short, and of course, you know, I want to first start by saying thank you to our staff, and that Brian Cook, our city manager, Eric Vale, our city attorney, who provide so much expertise and their time and hard work, and it, you know, a lot of us don't really see it because it's kind of most of it behind the scene, but they do a great job, and that includes all of our staff, many of whom are here this evening. You know, they make our job so much easier, and I really appreciate the time and effort that they've given, not only to the council, but to me personally, and all the things that we have done the last year. So thank you so much for doing, you know, all that hard work. To my colleagues, you know, a little bit said last meeting and also at my State of the City address, but, you know, the thing that has always impressed me, or maybe not impressed me, that's not the right word, but has made me so grateful for being up here is that we truly work as a team. And as you may think that that's not unusual, it really is. I mean, if you were to see some of the other stories, some of these other cities and the things that they go through, it's such a pleasure to come here to these council meetings. Not that we don't disagree, but like I always said, we're not disagreeable in doing so. And so I do appreciate that. You know, everyone up here on the dais works so hard and does their homework and is always prepared for the meetings and come ready to make those, you know, intelligent, informed decisions that all of us out there certainly expect. And it makes our jobs a lot easier, as I said, when we can get along, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for making my job so enjoyable this past year. Just a couple of highlights from last year, you know, especially with staff. You know, I'll talk a little bit about a little bit, but our business visitation programs, we just completed one last week, which was fantastic. I'll speak a little bit more about that in a while. The Walk with the Mayor, I want to thank staff, especially Brian, for helping with that and putting that together. Opportunity to speak with some of our residents on a more informal setting. Of course, our youth committee, Peggy, thank you so much for taking that on this year, and Marilyn, of course. You know, it just seems like, well, it was less than a year ago that a few of us went to Long Beach to get that award, remember? For our youth committee, and they've done a fantastic job, so I want to thank them. Our Sister City program continues to thrive. There's people in the audience who are involved with that, and I want to thank you, especially Steve and Nancy, for continuing to make that program fantastic. Our Sheriff and Neighborhood Watch program, it's a model for many cities now. We continue to do such a great job. Our sheriff does such a great job, and our staff, in making sure that we keep our community safe. Jerry, thank you, our city historian, for all you do.
Your assistant?
You know, some people think he's my assistant, but I think I'm his assistant. But you know, thank you for all the time and just everything that you do in keeping our city informed, and those great pictures, of course, that we all enjoy. You know, I was thinking about today, remember when we took the tour of the sriracha plant? That was fun, too. One of the things that we did in the last year, which was
That
fun.
was a fun thing. Never wore a
We actually
shirt.
have one, yeah. Yeah, we
Darn.
never did wear our shirts. We'll have to get to that. But one of the vice presidents is actually a resident of Temple City, which is how we kind of put that together. But that was fantastic. I think that was one of the first meetings you and
Yeah.
I went to that we got to meet her after you were elected.
Right.
So that was fantastic. From a personal standpoint, of course, participating in career days at Temple City High School, Cloverly, those kind of things are pretty cool as mayor. I'm especially proud of the establishment this year of our water conservation and audit ad hoc committees. They've done a great job in keep making sure that the city does the things that we need to do. I was thinking about some of the events. Remember the Special Olympic Torch Run that we had in our city? That was a great event. We had the big flag over the boulevard, and we had
Amazing.
those special athletes just come into our city, and it was just a great event. And you know, those are the kind of things, of course, that Temple City it thrives at. So, our first ever Temple City Dodger Night, I think, which was a lot of fun. We went to that. That was very cool. And of course, the Veterans Day celebration. Thank you again for organizing, both of Councilmember Fish and Sternquist for getting that put together. It was a great day. I mean, people were just amazed and just had a great time. Lastly, I just want to mention, the Las Tunas meetings that we had, and the last one. And people always still come up to me and say, well, that must have been a difficult time, a difficult meeting. There were so many people there that were angry, and I didn't look at it that way. In fact, I think all of us up here on council were very appreciative that night of the people that did come out to speak that evening. I mean, it was really democracy at its best, I think. And not, I don't look at it as a tough time. I look at it as a shining moment in our city's history where so many people took the time to come out and speak their mind about something they felt passionate about, both young and old and in between. And it was just, to me, it was a great event, and I think points out some of the things that we do correctly in this city, and that is we listen to those in our city and try to make the best decisions that we can. So, of course, the big thing, Jerry, no natural disaster. We
Yay.
survived, yeah? Knock on wood, okay? Those of you, that's kind of an inside joke, but if you remember last time I was mayor, we had our infamous windstorm, and there were more than a few people that were concerned that when I became mayor again, that we were going to have another natural disaster, but fortunately we didn't, so that was a good thing. So, we survived, and no El Nino either. So see, we even went through that. So, of course, I would like to thank my family. Unfortunately, Jane has got class tonight. I think she had a midterm, so she had to go to class. But her, my two sons, of course, who both grew up in Temple City. All of us have families up here, and it can be very difficult at times to juggle that. And of course, you need the backing of your family members and those that care about you. And certainly, I've gotten that over the year, and I do appreciate it. And certainly, that's it's something that we all really appreciate. So thank you to them. And just to close, I just want to say that I'm looking forward to next year. We have at least one more year, Vince and I, and we're looking forward to the next year, and certainly with our current council and getting things done and moving forward with a lot of the things that we've been doing. We've got, of course, our continued dialogue on Las Tunas, and we're going to have hopefully the opening of our Camellia Square soon. So there's going to be a lot of things coming up, and I look forward to the next year, and I look forward to serving with the four of you up here, and I think it's going to be a great year. So thank you again. So
Thank you.
with that, I want to thank you all again for coming and for for staying involved and staying engaged, and we do appreciate it. So thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm turning it over to you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And it gives me great pleasure tonight to, on behalf of the City Council and all of you, to thank our mayor for his great work last year. I mean, you heard the community event he just mentioned. He just rolled off his tongues. I mean, one thing that's so great about our mayor, Chavez, is that even though he has a busy law practice, and he still take the time to attend virtually every community event.
Well, I don't know about
And,
every event, but
almost every event.
Jerry.
Maybe Jerry had to attend Mary, but you know, seems to me like almost every event, and that really leave big shoes to fill, and I'm pretty sure it's hard to fill. It's going to take a few of us to combine in order to do what he does. So, but anyways, it's a great pleasure to really thank him. I mean, we have some pretty difficult meetings, and he handled them very well, the Las Tunas meetings and stuff. So, you know, we want to take this time to really thank you. Let's give another round of applause to him. So at this time, representing all of us, I would like to present a plant and also the gavel to Mayor Chavez.
all right, thank you. Thank you. We're gonna be able to look at it? Well, that's a nice plant. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Thank
Well, it
you.
is heavy.
Yep. And the symbolic,
The gavel to our mayor.
Oh, you mean I get to take this home?
yeah, I guess so.
Oh, so it has my name on it, I didn't even notice that. Isn't that amazing? Wow, look at that.
Amazing
I
how that
don't know,
happens.
I don't know where I'm gonna use it now, maybe,
In your office.
you think at home, you think Jane appreciate it if I say, okay, no, I'm just messing it up now.
In your office.
Yeah, all right, in my office, there you go. Well, thank you, thank you. Why don't we, yeah, let's put that down there. Can we get a picture? Sure. All right, why don't we all get a picture in the front, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, just put that down there, that'd be good.
You don't want the
Yes.
plant in the picture?
No, well, I don't know, should we get a plan?
Yeah.
All right,
Find the background?
No. No?
all right.
Okay. We're going in front, right?
That's it. I'll take my gavel with me then, how's that?
All right. Don't hit anybody.
Yeah, I won't hit anybody with it. All right. All right. Perfect, thank you. All right, well, Brian in the back. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, so with that, I will turn it over to the city clerk.
Thank you. If I may, a nomination for the seat of the mayor from the council members, please.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Mayor Pro Tem Vincent Yu as mayor.
Second?
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none. Councilmember Yu is now elected mayor by acclamation. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are we in a switch?
Yeah, now time to move.
Okay. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, that was quick here.
It's gonna be weird looking over and you're not.
That's all right. Whoops.
Oh, you don't have to do a roll call, okay.
All right. You have your notes?
Oh, you need a gavel.
Yeah.
Take Tom's gavel.
I'll use my hand.
We'll get you a new,
We need
or you're gonna get one.
Okay.
Well. You know, it's funny, but in all the pictures, William Mann's shows up in front of yours.
Right. Well, because look where Jerry's sitting.
That's why. So whenever you look at the pictures, it
It's
says
always me.
William Mann.
Oh, these are taking it from.
Oh, thank you.
Gavel.
Okay.
Hammer.
Now I'd like to call for nomination for the seat of Mayor Pro Tem.
I'd like to nominate Councilwoman Cindy Sternquist for Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second that.
All right, is there another nomination, second nomination? Hearing none, and it's been seconded. Councilmember Sternquist is now our Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, and I get to go back to me for a brief moment. So, we wouldn't want you to be without your own gavel, so of course, we have your own gavel for you here. So, first of all, I'll present this to you, so
Thank you.
there you go.
Thank you so much.
Good job. And then we also have a plant for you as well.
Yay!
Let's see, which one goes to Vince, the orchid or the? So, this one's even heavier. Yeah, there you go. Present that to you.
All right, thank you so
Stella,
much.
Stella, don't let him kill that plant.
I'm taking it back to my
Stella,
office.
take care of it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So we have 2 plants back there now.
Right.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Vince, I just, before you say anything, I just want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank
As
you.
I said earlier, you know, we came in together, and
We'll go
it's
out
hard to
together.
believe that it's been 7 years now.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that you're going to do a fantastic job as mayor, as you did the first time. So best of luck and continued good health.
Thank you,
Right.
thank you. That's so very important, good health to all of us. Yeah, it's almost, was the 8th year. And then we also both of us spent 6 years on, as commissioners.
Yeah.
So it's been 13 good years. It's a lot of fun. So now it's my turn to also present something to our new Mayor Pro Tem, Sternquist. So, well, thank you.
I know. I put yours up here, it's not so big. Leave it up here. Yeah, no, it's not in the way, it's good. Add some color to the dais.
That's right.
Well, now, at this time, I get to make a few remarks, and I think the main thing I really wanted to say is to thank everybody for your support, thank my fellow council members, thank staff, because it's really truly an honor and humbling honor to really be able to sit here in the middle with your support. I never thought I'll be here. When I first applied to be a planning commissioner, I just thought I'll just gonna give back to the community. But year after year, we got trained. Well, we have some commissioners here today, and perhaps you'll be up here also at some time. But it's truly, it had been a pleasure serving the city. Like Thomas say, our Mayor Chavez has said, we don't always agree, but we always are agreeable. And I think that each of us come with different strengths. We complement each other, and so it's been really a great pleasure to spend the 7 years on the city council. I'm looking forward to the next good year. And Tom alluded to the Las Tunas meeting. I think that that really is our community at its best, because it truly shows that we are concerned with our cities. Even though we may have approached it differently, but it truly shows that our citizens truly care for the city. So it's really, I'm looking forward to working with my colleagues, working with staff to serve this great city. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you want to make some remarks?
Just want to take this opportunity to, first of all, thank our outgoing mayor, Tom Chavez. You know, I go a lot of places where there's a lot of different city council members on different boards, and one of the things that's the general consensus when we talk about Temple City is how envious a lot of city councils are of Temple City. And I think a lot of that I would love to give credit and think that that's all of us together, but it is so much, like Tom said, it's the staff and everybody here, our city manager, our city attorney, everyone who's involved in this city, our commissioners, that really help us make this place up here a really lovely place to be. On the first and, is it the first and the fourth Tuesdays? It really is a joy. And even, like they said, the Temple City meeting on Las Tunas, it was really easy for me to realize that maybe my original decision wasn't maybe the best for the community, because looking out and seeing the people that are so dedicated to this city really makes it easy to make difficult decisions. If it's kind of an oxymoron, but it really does put things in perspective for you. And Tom, under his leadership, every place I go, they'll say, your mayor is everywhere. He's so generous with his time, and he really is. And Tom and I go back, way back from Parks and Recreation, and I'm just gonna put this plug in there. And, you know, Vincent, you served as mayor once before, and I was your mayor pro tem, and Tom, I served with you as mayor, and it has just been such a pleasure. And I know, Vincent, you will do a great job.
Thank you.
You will serve with your heart, and I think that's what's so important. And Tom, you definitely did that and still do always. And if there's ever a reason for getting rid of term limits, it's these two gentlemen, one on my right and one on my left. And I'm just going to put that out there, because, you know, when you two leave, I'll be the last standing long-term council member together, and it's hard to imagine, because I've enjoyed so much both your leadership here.
I'm thinking maybe going back to Parks and Rec. What do you think, Kat?
And maybe I'll try a stint on the planning
There
commission
you
when
go.
there's something opens up again. But anyway, thank you. We have two wonderful new council members, and I know, Vincent, you're lucky to have them on board, because they will help support you. So just thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to be mayor pro tem, and I'm surely will help you as much as I can. So thank you, Vincent.
Right, thank you. I mean, speaking of help, speaking of help, I truly really need to take my hats off to my colleagues here, and Mayor Pro Tem in particular. For the year that I was mayor, she was everywhere fulfilling my role on community events I could not attend, and I actually been looking. Will have to depend on them, because I do have a very busy full-time job, and I truly I want to thank them ahead of time for their effort and filling in for me when I fall short. So thank you so much. With that, we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda. Item number 6, public comments on item not listed. And I have one speaker request. That's Mr. Jim Bazian.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening.
My name is Jerry Jambazian, 9136 Las Tunas. I had a few notes jotted down this afternoon, and unfortunately, Mayor Chavez and Mayor Pro Tem, a little while ago, just took all my speech away. But I'm going to go through it anyway, okay?
Sure.
Congratulations to our 5 elected officials for guiding our city this past year. A special thank you especially to Tom Chavez and Vince Yu, who will begin serving their 8th year beginning tonight. I would like to congratulate former Mayor Tom Chavez for surviving his 2nd term as mayor without a disaster. 4 years ago, Mayor Tom was the face of our city as we experienced a devastating windstorm that crippled our city for several days. Thank you for representing the entire council at many civic events, always greeting citizens with a smile. Even last Wednesday at Live Oak Park Arbor Day celebration, you introduced yourself as mayor to a table full of eager youngsters. One of them asked if you were rich. I don't think you are rich in the traditional sense, but I know we are all rich because of your continued service. So thank you very much. I will continue to be your servant,
Thank you.
personal servant.
Thank you.
Assistant.
I love it.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jim. Anybody else would like to address the council? Please,
Mayor,
please state your name and,
my name is Steve Stafford, Mayor Pro Tem Mayor Pro Tem Sternquest. I just want to say I want to congratulate both of you and all of you for the fine job you've done this year, and Mayor Chavez for the fine job he's done. You guys have all done an awesome job, and it shows in your work. And I appreciate that the fact that we have a new mayor and a new mayor pro tem that'll do just as good of a job as you guys did before. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Stafford. Anyone else would like to address the city council? All right, well, public comments closed. The next item is consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be approved in a single motion as recommended unless removed from the calendar. So,
Mayor I would make a motion to approve.
Second?
all right, thank you. It's moved and seconded. Any objections? Hearing none, the consent calendar is approved. Next item is public hearing. There is none. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, there is none. Communications, there is none either. Update from Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Yu and members of the council, just very briefly, thank you to Mayor Chavez for his service this last year. And thank you, Mayor Yu and Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist. I look forward to assisting you as we assist the entire council. But thank you for your service and look forward to another good year.
Thank you. Any updates from Mr. City Attorney?
None this evening. I'll have something for you at your next meeting, though.
All right, thank you. Next item is council reports regarding ad hoc or standing meetings, standing committees. Any reporting back? All right, there is none. We'll move to the next item. Council items separate from the city manager's regular agenda. Well, it's gonna be hard to change. Says Councilmember Chavez, and I'm so used to calling
I know.
Mayor Chavez.
I figure it's about a week process that we turn over on
A
that,
week?
but that's okay.
Okay.
That'll be fine. Well, thank you, and again, congratulations, and
Thank you.
look forward to the coming year. Believe me, it's gonna be a great one. Just a couple of quick things. I mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to go on another business visitation walk. Well, actually, it wasn't a walk this time, we drove. Annie Wade, some of you may know Annie, she's from the San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, and she organized a business visitation with some of our commercial businesses in town. Michael Forbes, City Manager Brian Cook, and then Brian Howarth were, along with myself, visited a number of businesses. We started off with Modern Lighting on Las Tunas and got the opportunity to meet the owner and speak with them about the business and what they like and don't like about Temple City. And it was great to hear from all of them. Actually, most of the comments from our visits were very positive. There were the same issues that we always have addressed of parking and things like that. But for the whole, I think most of these businesses who've been here for a long time. Brian, how long had Modern Lighting? 60 years, I think you said?
Mid-1940s.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Jerry, you probably know, but 46, okay. Just a fantastic, we all know Modern Lighting. If you can't find a light, if you can't find it there, it doesn't exist, I think, because
Right.
they have quite a bit. But we also visited a company by the name of Tools and Production on Encinitas. They actually manufacture, like when you go and get a ticket, like when you go to a parking and the ticket comes out, they actually manufacture the process that makes those tickets, the moldings and things like that. And they're one of 2 or 3 in the whole world that does it. And the neat thing for me was all the stuff that goes out says Temple City, California on it. And this stuff is going all over the world. Temple City, California, and he's right here in town. So great business. So that was very interesting. McGuire Industries, some of you may be familiar with McGuire Industries, the inventor of hula hoop? FlexRate and FlexRate. The owner, John McGuire, gave us a great tour. He's just a great guy. What a character, and I say that in a very positive way. But he's got a great business there, and we have to make sure that when we buy a rake, it's a flex rake. So, but there's another product that is sold all over the country and is right here in Temple City. So that's just an amazing thing. We had the opportunity of visiting U.S. National Investment Group right here on Las Tunas. Great individuals there in the real estate industry, of course, investments, and very appreciative of things that we're doing and look forward to working with them. They had a lot of great ideas, and so it was great to speak to them. And then our last stop was the Flower Mart right there on the corner of Ensenada and Las Tunas. We've all gone by there. It's a tough business, but she's hanging tough, and they enjoy having a business here in Temple City. And one of the things that she was losing sleep over, however, was she had heard that we were going down to one lane in each direction, and she couldn't get to sleep. She was just so worried. And I told her, I said, we're not going to do that right now. She said, oh my God, thank you so much. She hadn't actually heard about it, and she had been worried all this time. So that told us we need to get the word out a little bit better, I suppose. But she was very appreciative of that, and she looks forward to doing continued business here in the city. So in all, it was a great thing, and I hope we will continue with that, putting a face on these businesses and letting them know that we at City Hall are here for them and want to do what we can to make sure that their business continues doing well, and especially doing well here in Temple City. So I want to thank staff for doing that. It was a great time, and we had a good afternoon. Arbor Day, those of you who didn't go, you missed Big Jim. What's Jim's last name? John, Big John. Did I say Big Jim? Big John Mahoney. He's the guy that does the
Tree carvings, right.
with the
Chainsaw.
and he was there doing his thing, and it was a great event. A lot of kids, a lot of people there. So it was a fantastic event. They did a great job, and so thank staff, Kathy, and all those that helped out in doing that. And then Mayor Yu, if I may, I know we all have a information flyer up here. Whoever did this, thank you very much. Those of you may not be aware that we lost a dear friend, Eva Rigi, passed away today. Eva's, as we know, is Diana Rigi's mother, former mayor, and she was a fixture in the community. Did so many things from Blue Star. Even my wife's pregnancy help center, she would make blankets for babies and donate them. And Camellia Festival. I mean, she was involved in everything.
Women's Club, everything you can think of.
But we're going to miss her. She was a great woman. She had this, I guess, I want to say this this is a nice way, an unusual sense of humor. She, you'd think she was being serious, and she was just joking. She'd give you that look, and I'll never forget that. And she would get me a couple of times with that. But, great woman, and, we're going to miss her. I think she was, Citizen of the Year in 2005, I believe. Right. So, Mayor Yu, if you don't mind, perhaps if you could maybe close the meeting in her honor.
Absolutely.
I think that would be a good gesture on our part. So.
Thank you very much.
All right, so thank you, and that's all I have.
Right, thank you. Councilmember Fish.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to first thank Councilmember, it's going to sound weird, Councilmember Chavez.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just doesn't flow. For your leadership.
Thank you.
We go way back to Little League, Parks and Rec Commission. I've had the pleasure of working with you, and I just want to know I've learned a lot.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate especially your leadership this year, because it was my first year on the council. And for all my colleagues, it's been a pleasure. It's been a learning experience. I, too, have seen some very dysfunctional councils, and it's really kind of hard to believe that they get anything done after they get done fighting with each other. So I'm very thankful for that. So, Tom, again, thank you.
Thank you.
The fact that you go to so many events, I am a little suspicious if you really do have a practice, but I have been to your office, so I know you do. But it's amazing that you do take all that time to dedicate to the community, so.
Well,
again,
it's going to be nice, actually, I should say, my wife is glad that I'm going back to work full-time.
So, again, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
I look forward, Vince, of course, to working with you and you being our mayor. I've learned a lot also from you, and I appreciate your friendship, your compassion, your leadership. It's going to be another very good year, I think, for our council and for our city. We work very well together. We respect each other. Again, we sometimes disagree, but you know what? We can work through it. We can get a lot accomplished, much more accomplished, by respecting each other than we can by fighting each other. So I think that says something for all of us, that we really do put the city first. So, again, thank you very much. It is Councilmember Mann and our first anniversary. And I just
Yeah.
want to say that we have,
Time flies when
I
you're having
can't, you know, I was told, I believe by our city manager, that in a year, I was going to be very surprised by what I've learned. That first meeting was terrifying. Right after the meeting, every resident asks you a question about every policy, every rule you can possibly imagine, and you're just saying, I'll get an answer for you. Thank you very much. So, again, thank you for staff. Thank you, Mr. Cook, for all your help. It's been a wonderful year. I've really enjoyed it. And again, I can't even tell you how much I've learned. It's amazing. It's just amazing. So again, and then my last thing is, as you know, most of you know already, I lost my husband to cancer a few weeks ago. And I just wanted to thank the community. The outpouring of support has been overwhelming. My family, friends, colleagues, my church, staff, and even residents have reached out to me. I can't even tell you how comforting it is to know that there's so many people out there that are actually worried about myself and my family. I have a short story before I start crying. My sister came from a small town in Idaho to, I guess, take care of me for the last few weeks. And she moved to Idaho 30 years ago because she wanted to raise her family in a small town. She wanted to move away from LA. Well, I can tell you right now, after her experience with the Kameya Festival and with the memorial, she's maybe thinking about moving back to Temple City. She cannot believe the outpouring that I have received in the last few weeks. It's just unbelievable. The gifts been left on my porch, the food, the cards, and many were from people I've never met. So again, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a wonderful experience. I've always said Temple City is the best place to live. It's a gem in San Gabriel Valley. So again, just wanted to share that with you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Councilmember Mann.
Thank you, Mayor Yu. I'll have to get used to saying that too. But first of all, looking back on the first year on council, I realize how lucky I am to start my first year having Tom as my mayor. There are so many things that, for me, I was stepping into unknown territory, and to Tom's credit, he's been a great guide. I really appreciate you reaching out and helping me every step of the way, telling me all the little nuances of things, and really being a mentor, and I'm kind of shy about asking for that stuff, so I really appreciate you being proactive and really engaging me. So very, very lucky and blessed to have you as my first mayor. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for all that you've taught me. And all my life, I've been lucky to be able to learn from the best. And that also goes to my fellow colleagues. Very lucky to have Mayor Yu now. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm sure in the coming year, you as mayor, I will learn more. Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist, thank you for also being very proactive and helping me every step of the way. Greatly appreciate your advice, your guidance, your counsel. And thanks to Council Members Fish for, I guess, being the partner in crime for new council members.
It's nice not to be the only new one up here.
Yeah, we stumbled through the first year.
Yes.
Hopefully we didn't embarrass ourselves too much up here on the council. If you do, I'm sure you could look at Jerry's pictures and come up with stories about what we did wrong. But yeah, it's been an incredible journey. I can't believe a year has gone by. And one thing that also struck me was, Mayor, you also mentioned that each of us carries a different strength. And I truly believe that. In this past year, I've really seen that. There's a different strength that each one of us carries and brings to the table. And like Mayor Chavez said, even though we may not agree on everything, we remain professional, we're still friends. We don't sort of devolve into, I guess, personal vendettas might be a harsh term, but you can actually apply that to some of the other councils. So to me, it's a blessing to be a part of this group that can really and truly work together for the betterment of our community. And I won't repeat all the meetings and projects that we've mentioned, but Las Tunas definitely stands out in my mind because no one warned me about that when I was running. I mean, knowing that information, maybe I would have reconsidered, but I'm just half joking. It was truly an incredible experience. So, and that's a lot of credit to Tom for being the lead and moderating that meeting, sort of keeping everything calm, civil, and letting that public discourse and opinion flow, and really showing everybody, not just our own residents, but also our neighbors, how the democratic process truly works and that Temple City can be a model city for that process. And also, last but not least, definitely want to thank staff. You've helped me, every one of you, City Manager Cook, City Attorney Eric Vale, as well as all the other staff who's helped us with all this information. You've really eased my transition into council. It was very smooth, much smoother than I imagined. So the combination of that and great colleagues on council really made this past year a fantastic year for me. So thank you all for your support.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist.
I just have to tell you a funny story. When William and Nan first came on, and William made reference to Jerry taking pictures, and I remember we were outside of the gazebo for some function, and
I remember that already.
We-
I already know the story.
we were playing with them as a council since they were new, and I heard them both saying like, what are we supposed to do? And I was like, hey, William, Nan, you go here and you go over there, which was not where the other three of us were to take the picture. And I heard Nan tell William, I think we just do it. We just do what they tell us right now. But now, if you notice, when we go down to take pictures, it's all very smooth because they're very experienced now. And they don't listen to us anymore.
Yeah, they know better.
You've come a long way. But
There's just one rule, that William has to be on the opposite side from me, because I don't want to, he's too young looking to stand next to me. And it even stands out, makes me look even older when he's next to me. So.
and a lot of times, Nan and I take off our shoes because.
Don't tell anybody.
Hey,
We-
don't say that.
We want to blend a little bit more because we happen to be exceptionally tall at sometimes
That's
with
right.
shoes on. But anyway, we do have a lot of fun here. Just a couple of updates. I already congratulated everyone. Many moons ago, I spoke about the Upper San Gabriel Water District that had came out and met with Brian, and I don't know, Nan, were you at that meeting? I think Nan was. And basically asked Charles Trevino, who is our district board member, if they might want to partner with us to build a drought-tolerant demonstration garden outside of City Hall. And we pretty much left that meeting with an idea that there was a commitment that we were going to move forward. Well, just as things go, sometimes on other ends of the spectrum, things don't always fall in place or there's a lack of communication. But fortunately, after many months and some conversations with Charles, they indeed are starting to plan our drought-tolerant garden. And Brian, if you want to just share, because I wasn't here, the architect or landscape architect came out.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Sternquist, the preliminary activity in coordination with our staff, who will be dealing with the drought-tolerant garden over time, has already started. And so probably within the next couple months, you should see some demonstrations of how to do a drought-tolerant type of landscaping right out in front of City Hall.
And the nice thing is that Metropolitan is covering the cost of all of that. So that is a really nice thing for our city. And it'll be right in front of City Hall, going up the stairs near where you buy the tickets to park overnight, and then just the median right below on Las Tunas. So look forward to that. And you can, if you're interested, when we start, you can come out and see the actual process of how to remove the turf and then what you need to do in order to prepare for a drought-tolerant garden. A little bit of an update on the library. I know a couple of people have asked me that were in the audience. And the architect that the county asked us to use came back with a proposal that we're very excited about, and the council hasn't seen it yet. But when they do, everybody else will. And it calls for a total renovation of the current library, along adding a very large children's space or children's place to the west side of the current library. And the preliminary plans are absolutely beautiful. So Councilmember Fish and Brian Cook and I are going out to Pico Rivera Library this week to actually see the remodeling and the children's space that the same architect did. So we'll go
He
and.
also did a La Crescenta Library
And he
as well.
did La Crescenta. So we're going to go start there, take some pictures, and hopefully sometime this week or next week, Brian and I will be meeting with the supervisor and Catherine Barger, his deputy, to actually get a commitment on the financing. We don't know what that number is right now, but I'm very optimistic, and so send good thoughts towards a brand-new library. Preliminary discussion said that if we intend to move forward, it probably would take a year for from design to completion.
I think not just good thoughts. I think the supervisor, Antonovich, and his chief deputy, Catherine Barger, probably would really appreciate if people write them as well. Because I work for the county, I know how much it means to our supervisors if people write them. So if you want the support, I mean, I really thank Mayor Pro Tem for doing such great work in the background, but I think it will also be very helpful if we collectively write them as well.
I have her, Catherine Barger's email and the supervisors, and it's public record, correct, Brian? So I can definitely, can we put that on the website? possibly, or what can we do?
I think it is on the website now, but
Okay.
we can make sure it's there if
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah.
Okay, and actually, if you can just send a quick email to both of them sometime this week, it would be really helpful. I've already taken our library assessment plan that the city did some time ago. I believe it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago,
A lot,
longer.
maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
But a lot of community a lot of the community came out. Councilmember Fish was on that, myself, and actually, we put together with a consultant, a very lengthy packet. So when I went to meet with the supervisor, I had a very compelling report. And sometimes people say, well, you know, the city spends a lot of money on consultants, and what do you get back for that? Well, it was really compelling when I said, I need you to build us a children's library, because they initially offered some money, small amount of money for a children's library, and I said, no, we need a new children's library, and I'm not leaving. So, anyway, so that's all this discussion about how that came about. So please, if you can, that's a very good idea, Mayor, to send an email.
And then I would just put in a couple of things, plugs for, number one, when we were in lean times, the county were cutting back all the place. Actually, Supervisor Antonovich actually did in his own pocket to give us extra hours. So we, in our district, actually have more hours, library hours, than other districts. And then also put a plug for how great we like our librarian and her staff and everything about the library. I mean, I think it would go a long way if we can really let the supervisor know how grateful we are for his caring of our community. So,
And I was at all the supervisors once a year do a Women of the Year award, and it was at downtown LA, and it was a lovely event, and such inspirational women that receive these awards. It's like they're just so off the top with everything that they do and all the time that they give. But all the supervisors were there, so I just graciously reminded them to, be sure to set up our meeting. But someone from Foothill Transit on a board that I served came up to me and heard the discussion and just said, don't forget Foothill. We'd like to contribute to your library. So it's not just our city that's excited about this, but a lot of different agencies that do business or have some affiliation with our city are willing to partner. So I think we're going to have something great in our city, and hopefully pretty soon. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Again, I want to echo everything that's been said, but I want to first congratulate Councilmember Fish and Councilmember Mann for the successful first year. It's certainly been a pleasure serving with both of you. And also, I want to thank the school board members, the commissioners, and who always seem to be here at our council meetings, and we appreciate working with you and looking forward to the next exciting next year working together with you. And then so, therefore, we thank all of you, of course, for attending tonight's meeting. We have prepared some refreshments in the community room. So to celebrate very successful last year, and also to give us a chance to thank Mayor Chavez for his great work. It's funny that when the joke was said, the kids asked if you were a rich man or wealthy man, that he would have been richer or wealthier had he not attended all these community meetings.
That's
So
true.
we really appreciate
It was
that.
not billable time while I was there.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So with that, I'll move on next item, reimbursement expenses, city official, there is none. And now we recess to the successor agency, to the Temple City Community Redevelopment Agency meeting. Madam Clerk, I call to order now the meeting. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, Mayor. Agency Member Chavez.
Here.
Agency Member Fish.
Here?
Agency Member Mann.
Here?
Vice Chair Sternquist.
Here?
Chair Yu.
Here. Next item is consent calendar. All items may be approved in a single motion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Hearing no objections. The consent calendar has passed. Unfinished business, there is none. New business, there is none. Communications, there is none. Public comments? Okay, hearing nobody. Then the public comments closed. An update from the executive director, agency council, none. Matters from agency members, none. Closed session, none. So we're adjourned and reconvene as the city council. The last item here is the additional public comments. Okay, hearing none. Then the public comment is closed. And as Mayor Chavez has suggested, we are going to adjourn this meeting in memory of Mrs. Eva Arigi.
Wonderful person.
Our thoughts and prayer are with them, with the family. So with that, the meeting is adjourned.